Just getting this set up, a little knuckleheadedness of me. Look at the weather today. My God. Well, welcome anyway to Backyard Coffee with Bill Cannon. I was up real early today to take my wife to a bunch of doctor's appointments. She's got one more, and then I'm done for the day. My duties are done for the day. The lady is a tramp. How are you? You see this weather? It's like a monsoon out here. It's Siggy D09 morning. Good morning, everyone. This looks like London. Where's all my London friends? Where's all my UK friends? Come on in here. You'll feel right at home. It's pouring raining. It's supposed to pour for another couple of days. Driving was nasty this morning. I had to go. Polka Dot Suzanne, how are you? Hello from Kansas. Oh, and BB, good morning. Raining. Do you hear the rain? I mean, some people love the rain. Look at Gisela. Are you ever not on the air, Gisela? Great to see you, though. This is actually funny. I mean, thank God I came under my... I'm not getting rained on, but you can hear the rain all around me, and everything is soaked. I'm trying to stay dry, and it's getting a little... Hello from Derry, Ireland. Hello, Derry. There was music there in the Derry air, like a language that we knew so well. The town I love so well, right? Phil Coulter. Hello from Toronto. Good evening from Finland. Oh my God. Hey from Alabama. So many songs I could think of, right? Hi, Bill. You can hear the rain. Yeah, the rain really is coming down. Stuart, Florida. I wish I was in Florida now, but Florida gets these flashes of rain. It'll rain hard for like an hour, 2 hours, and then it's beautiful the rest of the day. Gemma Meenan, thank you so much for loving my podcast. Shalma from the Dominica. The lady is a tramp somewhere in Michigan. Penny Bork, New Hampshire. Factual breakdown, the town I love so well. Your dad's favorite song. I love that tune too. Really pretty song. I actually met Phil Coulter one time at a wedding. And at the time, I didn't know who he was. And then I had heard that he played piano for Van Morrison, and he was a real accomplished musician. And at that time, I didn't know about that song, The Town I Love So Well. And then when I heard this song, and my wife told me, he wrote that song. I was like, really? It's almost like the Irish national anthem. Every pub you go into in Ireland, you'll hear The Town I Love So Well at least once, and it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Hello from South Africa. So great. Cheers. I just made, I don't know if you guys that are members, I got to say a couple of things as far as the memberships. We're doing great on the memberships. I just added another tier, and it's morning coffee, it's called. So that's what I call this show. Morning coffee with Bill. I'm not even sure exactly what I named the show. But there's another tier on our membership for $6.99. You can have morning coffee with Bill. It's like a new show I'm going to start doing. Hopefully, a couple times a week. I don't know if I could do it 7 days a week or 5 or 4, but we'll see how many times I could do it every week. Hello, Rita Schaefer. Look at all those. Lorna McKenzie, welcome to the bucket. I love that. That's showing you're a member. I'm drinking my morning coffee right now, RDNAC. Beverages with Sergeant Bill. That's right, factual breakdown, beverages or coffee. Because I said yesterday, depending where you are in this world, if you're in Ireland, you may want to have an Irish coffee right now. Or you may want to have a Guinness, But for me, it's, it's still early enough to have a nice cup of coffee, One of the things I love in my coffee when I'm celebrating around the holidays, I like to put Bailey's in my coffee. That gives you the warmest feeling, a little Bailey's Irish cream in your coffee. Top of the morning tier. I wasn't using, I have my police off the cuff cup with me, but I was using my other cup that I drink out of. And of course, on the police off the cup, on the other side, it says dipped in butter. So, one thing I just want to say for anyone that's not subscribed, I found out from our producer, Josh, that 40% of the people that listen to our show are not subscribed to Police Off the Cuff. So if you're not subscribed, please go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a thumbs up. 40%, that's like nearly half of the people that watch us aren't subscribed. Angie Y from Sweden, Shalma Tang, I am subscriber. Thank you so much. You're from Dominica, right, Shalma? Uh, Rachel had a Bailey's in coffee this morning while visiting my auntie. Wow, you're way ahead of me. I love Bailey's. It gives you that warm feeling that's so good inside coffee. And some of you Italians that are drinking Sambuca, make sure when you put it in that snifter, it's got 3 coffee beans in it. That's a rule. That's the law. You have to have 3 coffee beans in it. Bite me, subscribe from Florida. Great, I love the name. Wow, hit that subscribe button, peeps. Kildare County, Ireland. Wow. Ireland, isn't this, Molly Moon, isn't this sort of like your weather in Ireland? People say Ireland is beautiful, but you don't go there for the weather. How many times have I heard that, right? Uh, Factual breakdown, I absolutely will check my email. I was out all morning taking my wife to 2 doctor's appointments, and she's got 1 more in the afternoon. And today I even had to take off from the gym, and I try to go to the gym pretty much every single day. I miss days, maybe I'd say 4 to 5 days a week. I go, sometimes more, sometimes 6. But this week I'm gonna miss at least 2 because today I obviously had to miss. She's doing well. My wife's doing really well, and tomorrow's 2 weeks since her surgery, and so at the 2-week mark, she's doing better than most. Much better than most. So, not too many new things are happening in regards to the Alec Baldwin case, the accidental shooting on the movie set in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The investigation has turned up some details that originally wasn't out. The fact that a couple of days before the shooting, some of the crew were shooting target practice with that very same gun that Alec accidentally shot and killed Halnia Hutchins. Factual breakdown. My friend is heading to Napa this weekend. I love Napa Valley. I've been there, and something. I've been to so many different wineries. The wine there is just unbelievable. I don't think there's any place in this world that makes better wine than Napa Valley. And maybe I'm a little prejudiced because I love Cabernet, and that's the Cabernet capital of the world, no doubt, right? So yeah, I mean, it's coming around that the investigation of the shooting on that set is, it looks like a horrible tragedy, but many mistakes, very lax safety standards, very lax people with the firearm. How did a live round get into that gun? That's a big question that has to be answered. Scott Inquirer, Boxing MMA, how are you guys? Tweet Chris46. Oh, wow, Bill, I don't usually catch you live. Have a great day from the UK. The UK is in the house. That's great. Good afternoon from Nova Scotia. Wow. Love the show. Just don't ever put that clown Calandra on again. You don't like Jimmy Calandra? I think he tells a pretty good story. Or he tells a good yarn, as they say in Ireland, right? RDNAC, right. How was that revolver not checked? Not only that, how did a live round get into that revolver, resulting in the death of Halnia Hutchins, so tragic. Madeline, it was daisy chain of negligence. You got that right. You got that 100% right. I don't know if you caught our show a couple of days ago where we had Sergeant Steve Gardella, retired NYPD sergeant, who worked in the movie TV unit and was going over the safety protocols that are part of shooting a film in New York City. As you would imagine, they're quite strict because they're run by the police department, and the police department is not gonna. Jimmy Calandra, Bath Avenue story. Respect, Jimmy. How are you, buddy? I think you tell a great story. I go through the chat sometimes, lots of times, almost every day I go through the chat. And invariably, there's going to be people in the chat that don't like you. People don't like me. People say nasty things sometimes. And that's, why we have monitors in the chat sometimes to get rid of nasty people. But there's people in the chat all the time that don't like me. And, you don't like me. There's other podcasts you're a master of your own destiny. Don't stay on my chat and, you know, disparage me. Go to a different, if you don't like it, go to a different chat. Someone the other day said, "Oh, you're always saying you're a 27-year veteran. Of the NYP is getting tired." I said to this young man, I said, "Have you done anything for 27 years? Then maybe you should just mind your own business and go to a different podcast." And he says, "I'm going to." I said, "Goodbye." He probably wasn't even subscribed anyway, but he's giving me Jimmy Calandra. I'm feeling good. I'm underneath an awning right outside my house in my yard, so I'm staying dry, even though it's. I'm a Bill fan. Like, leave Britney alone. Also, leave Bill alone. You know something? As they used to say in the police department, you have to have thicker skin. My skin is thick. It doesn't look. I recognize that we all can't be for everyone. You know what I mean? Everyone can't like you in this world, and the ones that don't, they can. There's other podcasts they can go to. It looks pretty over there, Jimmy Calandra. Yeah, Jimmy, is gorgeous. This is Westchester County. The colors of all the. I have almost just shy of an acre of land on my house. I've been living here since 2004. I've been living in Westchester since 1992. But we've been living in this house since 2004. And I have two sons, and they all moved out. So now it's just my wife and I in this big house and this big piece of property. So we're going to have to make a decision soon. Do we downsize? What do we do, because it's pretty damn expensive to carry this. Moonglow, how are you? I'm going to ask all you guys, who's celebrating Halloween this year? It seems like a while since we celebrated Halloween because of COVID and all that other stuff, Yeah, Empty Nester. I used to go, Greenwich Village in New York City has the greatest Halloween parade probably in the world, And I used to go there every year because there was a place where cops and retired cops could go and watch the parade. It was just simply amazing. I don't know. I would think they're going to have it again this year because I think they have the whole COVID thing under control, and I would think that the parade's going to happen. Shannon, Georgia Peach, yes, Halloween this year. Kids going trick-or-treating. I don't get that many kids coming to my house. I get because the houses are sort of spread out. Rachel Williams, no, my kids are older. They don't want you tagging along. CRP, positive vibes. I'm celebrating. Madeline says, I'm celebrating. Got two kids, so they make me do it. Halloween's fun, I used to so look forward to it when I was a kid. Not so much as an adult, but even working as a cop. Annette Brown, Westchester County is not on Long Island. No, it's north of the city, Westchester County. I grew up on Long Island, though. I actually grew up on the South Shore in a town called Levittown. And, it's a lot different than Westchester. One of the things, of course, I love about Long Island is the proximity to the ocean. And you can't beat that. But one of the things I don't like about Long Island is the amount of traffic. Traffic on Long Island is unbearable. And I mean within the towns and also going into the city from Long Island. It's just horrendous. That Long Island Expressway, they call that the world's biggest parking lot, And it's for some reason it's not as bad from going from north of the city into the city as it is from going east of the city into the city. I guess there's a much bigger population. Kim Clayton, with all the people out there poisoning, I don't, look, I hate to have to go into that on Halloween because it's usually such a joyful. You have to go out with your kids. If you're going to go trick-or-treating, as a parent, you can't let your kids go alone. You got to go out with them. You got to supervise them. Kids got to be supervised anyway. MK, I love your yard. Yeah, this is my yard, or as you Brits say, my garden. I'm out in the garden. And let me take a little sip of coffee. Cheers to everyone watching. This is Coffee with Bill in the garden or in the yard, whatever you want to call it. And I said we just added another tier to our membership. For $6.99 a month, you can have coffee with Bill in the morning, And we tried to make all of our, bite me, yes, cheers. Love the mug. Well, here's my dipped in butter mug. My police off the cuff mug. But yeah, this mug is one of those Godiva chocolate mugs. That's what this is. It's a Godiva chocolate mug. It's freezing in North Carolina. Andy the Gabby Cabby is thinking of going I missed that went by so fast. I shout out to Andy the Gabby Cabby. How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for your kind words. I wonder what it's like driving in this kind of weather in England, in London. It must be nasty when it's pouring raining. It's pouring raining lots in London, as I understand. Just like Ireland, sort of the same kind of weather, right? So getting back to the Alec Baldwin thing, I don't, there's a lot of controversy going on because obviously um, he played on Saturday Night Live. He was a big time during the 4 years Trump was president. He was a big time Trump basher. So a lot of conservatives now are bashing him over this shooting, and it's sort of a shame because this is a super tragedy. It's tragic, but we all hope also, besides that, it's tragic, and mostly for the family of Miss Hutchins and Miss Hutchins, of course, Ahalnia. It's tragic, but we hope that there's a good investigation, that they don't back off because it's a movie company, that they do a real thorough, complete, and for the potential criminal case, as well as undoubtedly there's going to be a huge civil case on this. Hey, Gisela is on chat. Bill, it's raining cats and dogs. Yeah, it's pouring. But you guys see all those different colors? I'll take a little, you can see around. See all the different colors? Look at that tree there, that red tree. Beautiful, right? Gorgeous, yep. Yeah, it really is. It's beautiful. Scout Inquirer, Justice for Gabby and Family. It's gorgeous. You're jealous. Hello, Boxing MMA. The lady is a tramp. It's beautiful. Yeah, so the whole thing with, they found out through the investigation that there was some highly unsatisfied people on that set. People that claimed that they were, the movie scene wasn't being safe. It wasn't being run safely. That there wasn't enough checks and balances. It seemed like the person that was supposed to check the gun, she was very inexperienced. She was only 24 years old. CRP, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Ultimate hypocrisy, who was anti-gun, scared of guns, and then handling them with such carelessness. I don't think you can excuse Alec Baldwin for what happened, because it's also the responsibility of the person that's handed the gun. Even though someone said cold gun, I'm not going to trust my life to that person. I'm going to physically and visually check that gun and make sure it's safe. So does he walk away from this and just say, oh, I was told it was safe? No. You must make sure that it's safe, and you didn't do that. The other thing was there's a report that the shooting took place inside some church, we're being told, and he was practicing cross-drawing it, and then apparently he pointed it at the camera, which Miss Hutchins was behind, and he pulled the trigger. A lot of reports, they leave that part out. The gun just doesn't go off by itself. The gun goes off when a person pulls the trigger. If he didn't have his finger on the trigger and just pointed it, it wasn't going to go off. So he obviously pulled the trigger. So many publications, they neglect to say that he pointed it and pulled the trigger, or else the gun does not go off. And we've said this before, we'll say it again. It doesn't misfire. That's a misnomer when someone said it misfired. Could that potentially happen with a semi-automatic? I have a gun called a baby Glock, and it's about an inch smaller than the NYPD Glock 19, which was my service gun, which could hold 16 rounds, 15 in the clip and one in the chamber. And the baby Glock and the Glock 19, after the first shot, it goes into single action mode. A revolver is in double action unless it's cocked, and you're never supposed to cock a revolver. So with a baby Glock, and a Glock 19, it goes into single action mode. So I've been at the range, and actually I was pointing the gun down range, and I can seriously tell you, on one shot, I didn't intend for the gun to go off, but my finger put enough pressure on that trigger, and it was in single action, that the gun went off, and I actually was surprised. Just like I just did there. I jumped. I was surprised. But that really can't happen with a revolver unless the gun is in single action mode. and it's never supposed to be in single action mode. In fact, on the NYPD, the revolvers that they had manufactured after a certain year, I don't know exactly what year it was, they took away the ability of the gun to be cocked, and they took away the hammer, the spur on the end of the gun, so that you couldn't cock it, but it also could not be cocked. It was something Smith and Wesson, the manufacturer, did, so that the revolvers could not be cocked. So that was the result of an officer cocking the gun, and the gun went off and killed somebody. So it was an accidental shooting. So as a result of that, the NYPD had Smith and Wesson make them revolvers that could not be cocked after that. Kim, it was negligence. You never point a gun, unloaded or otherwise, at a person. I think you're right. Mike V, hello, everyone from Sweden. Heard somewhere he shot twice. I don't think he shot twice. I think the round hit, it may have gone through her and then hit him, but I don't think he shot twice. I think he only pulled the trigger once. So still a lot to do with that investigation. Yeah, well, she was hit in the chest, so I don't know how it could have ricocheted, unless the round hit something and split. Good morning from the outskirts. Oh, I lost that one. It went too fast. Welcome, Mickey V. Good question, factual breakdown. So yeah, I mean, they were target practicing with that gun several days before this accident. A super no-no. We had Sergeant Steve Gardell from the NYPD MTV unit, retired sergeant. He said there should never be any live rounds on a movie set. And that is, they see to that by doing an inspection. The police do an inspection. And actually, they have people whose job it is to do that inspection. So they cut corners in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of the staff walked off. It seemed like this movie company was being pretty cheap with their employees, and they made them stay at hotel rooms an hour away from the set. And when you're working 12, 13, 14-hour days, you don't feel like having an hour drive. But you know something? I think the employees that signed on to this, they know what they signed on for. So it's no surprise how much they're getting paid. There's some reports also that they were getting checks that were late. So there was a lot of disgruntled employees. So when they talk about, very low budget, right, very low budget. So when does low budget mean that you cut safety? Does that mean you cut corners on safety? I think that's a distinct possibility what was being done. Shalmar, I think he said, I don't know if you should blame anybody. Someone has to be blamed. Someone's dead, you know. We have to, Havasu loves you, Bill. Thank you so much, Christine Rose. Someone's dead. And it has to be determined whether or not that was an accident or whether it's a crime. Does it rise to the level of criminally negligent homicide? Or does it rise to the level of manslaughter? Was it super negligent, you know? It very well could be. I mean, look at all the things that we're learning now. You know, everyone wants to, of course, grieve Miss Hutchins and the tragedy for her family, that she's got kids. Her husband is insurmountable. Yet, part of this, to get closure, is to do a proper, thorough, and complete investigation, you know. And no matter how sad or how bad you feel for Mr. Baldwin, he ultimately caused the death of someone, and there has to be investigated. Chances are, at the end of this investigation, he'll be found innocent of criminal charges. However, civilly, I think he's going to have some problems, meaning he's going to be sued, and so is this movie company, for millions and millions of dollars, you know. We had spoke about the investigation and what a huge undertaking this was. If there's 100 people that work, and I'm just using that number, I don't know how many people were working on this movie set, each and every one of them has to be interviewed. And they have to be interviewed separately. And they have to be separated from each other when the police get on the scene. Ladies of Tramp, they can use a fake gun and add sound later. Yeah, they could do that, but I think that the bang is part of the as an actor to react to something, it has to be real. So if you're putting that loud sound in there later, I don't know if they can get the same reaction. I think they can put in a loud bang without there being a live round. Um, right, they can do it digitally. Sound people can add it later on, but sadly, yes, it's how Brandon Lee died. And this was only a rehearsal. Yeah, it was only a rehearsal. Lindsay, I hope he faces consequences. Something is fishy about this whole thing. I think uh, I want there to be a full investigation. However, I think a lot of the penalty for this will be in the suffering of killing someone uh, accidentally. To have to live with that, I think is a huge amount of suffering. Yeah, the investigators on this Alex situation leave politics out. Thank God. Yeah, you can't look. You can't bring politics into this. I mean, people outside of this investigation can, but people that are investigating it, no, they have to do a complete, thorough investigation without there being any prejudice or malice or prejudging Mr. Baldwin. Just the facts, recreate the situation. Donna, Texas Red, non-biased, exactly. And the thing was any part of this caught on film? I'd like to know that. Was the camera running? Uh, Shalma Tanj, will he be guilty? In my estimation, and for whatever it's worth, I don't think he's going to be charged criminally. But I think it's borderline where you could be charged with criminally negligent homicide. Um, I don't know. Kim Gaskin, I don't think he intentionally shot at Kim. I don't think he did either. But there's provisions in the law. There is intent, but there's also things called reckless and criminally negligent, and those are two terms that have to be explored. And it can be criminally. You can be criminally charged if you're reckless or if you're criminally negligent. So your intent was not to cause her death, but your actions, if they were criminally negligent or if they were reckless, you could still be charged criminally. I feel like I'm back teaching criminal justice. There's 4 culpable mental states, and the 4 culpable mental states are reckless, intentional, criminally negligent, and knowingly. And I used to use the acronym RIC, so I would remember that. Coffee with Bill. I haven't seen Phil. Where is Phil today? Is Phil in the chat? I haven't seen it. Phil Grimaldi might still be in bed. He probably had a late night last night. Clicking in from Belgium. Thank you, Belgium. The whole highway was stopped when it happened. I was up there in my home in Arizona. Wow. So would I call it a C, criminally negligent? That's not for me to call. That would be determined. That would be determined by the investigation and by the district attorney. If the district attorney determines that this was gross negligence and it rises to the level of criminal negligence, then yes, he could be charged with criminally negligent homicide, and so could the other people that were supposed to check that gun. So could the assistant director who handed him the gun and said cold gun, meaning it's a safe gun. He could be charged too. Sergeant Bill, you are teaching. People are always learning on your and Ron's channel. I think because I was almost near my whole 27-year career, 22 of it, I was a sergeant. I always felt that I was a teacher because I had to teach young cops, and I had to teach them so that they could stay safe and they could do things the right way. And then late in my career, actually in the year 2000, I went back to college. I went to John Jay College and got my master's degree. And that was a great decision because that enabled me to teach at a college. So when I retired from the NYPD, I had already been teaching part-time, and I went right into a full-time teaching job, which I did for 5 years. I did that from 2011 to 2016. And then I quit doing that, and I started doing acting and stand-up comedy and having fun, doing things I never got a chance to do. And it's funny, I just got a call from some people, and I don't know if you guys know much about stand-up comedy, but to get better at it, you have to keep going to what's called open mics. And you go to 1, 2 a week to keep trying your new stuff that you wrote. And there's one right near me, and I may start going back again. My intention was not to go back to comedy, but I'm going to try to do it a little bit if I can. You know what it is? Because this podcast, I know you guys, some of you folks in the chat, and some of you guys that listen, you don't understand how much this podcast takes, how much time it takes, how much effort it takes. And it's almost a full-time job, And when I tell people that, like, oh, what takes so much time? Whoa. Booking guests, research, the business end of it, dealing with my producer, who I also pay. Mike Colon is a administrative guy for me. He gets paid. So the money that comes in, I have to pay people too. Do a duo act with Mark. Mark's a much, much better stand-up comic than me. He's been doing a lot longer. If you ever try it, it's really a rush. It's such a huge, someone just asked what happened to Mark and I in regards to this show. It's that we went sort of off on different directions. Mark's show is more of somewhat like more of a variety show, an interview show. And I decided to pursue real crime, since that's where really my experience is and my heart is. And I think I'm better at that than doing like a comedic type show. Not to say there isn't humor in my show, Police Off the Cuff Real Crime. But we take a deep dive in some of the cases that are going on. And I think that's why Mark and I sort of split up. And he's doing his show, and Mike Colon has been working with him, and I think they're doing a good job. But you got to keep evolving in this stuff, You got to give you guys what you want, You got to give the audience what they want, and that's our goal, is to give you guys good content, and have people that don't know how to subscribe, get their kids, teach them how to subscribe to YouTube, Donna from Texas Red. Yes, I'm originally from Houston, Texas. CRP, thank you for your service. Thank you. Lady is a Tramp. Bill, I'm a fan because of your sense of humor. Thanks. It's always great. Lorna McKenzie, you give great content. Thank you so much. It's always good, no matter what you do, to have some humor in it. Thank you, M. Ray and Dave the Dog. I love Bill and Phil and Duty Ron. Duty Ron's name always comes up in my chat, but that's okay. He's great. and of course, Gisela. I don't see Gisela anymore. She must be running off to do another show. She's one of the hardest working people on YouTube, one of the hardest working creators. I prefer true crime, but I will continue to support Mark as well. Factual breakdown. Thank you very much. We can all use Denise Perez. Duty Ron is my buddy. Thank you so much, Denise Perez. Duty Ron's my buddy too. Take a little drink of water. Sometimes you talk too much. So do you guys think it's a good idea for me to do this every morning Coffee with Bill show besides the real crime stuff? I get the chance to talk to you guys. I get a chance to have coffee with you. And then we got a show tonight also. So, it's doing a lot of different stuff. Amy Dorr, yes, great. Hoppy, yes. Bite Me, oh my God, yes. Debbie Clump, yes. T. Michelle Smith, yes. Christine Rose, we love your yard. Jeffrey Crowley, yes, enjoying. So I'm going to keep doing these Coffee in the Yard with Bill shows, I don't know how many I can do a week, but I really enjoy these too. It gives me a chance to talk to you guys. It gives me a chance. You guys can also see the changing weather. If I can sit out here when there's snow behind me, some of you folks in Florida and other places never get to see snow, It's great. Yeah, it's great to just talk. I'll take another sip of coffee. Coffee in the morning. Yes, love these chats. It's like the fireside chats, right, with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Coffee talk. Yeah, coffee. And that's what Gisela said. She loves the way we say coffee and boss. Uh, that's great, guys. So then I'm going to keep doing these. If you guys like it, I'm going to keep doing these. I don't want to do much more than 35 minutes. We're at 35 and a half minutes. So I want to just thank you guys for all your support. And again, if you're not subscribed to Police Off the Cuff, hit that subscribe button. If you don't know how to subscribe or sign up for YouTube, get a 16-year-old kid. If you don't have one, borrow your neighbors. Have them teach you how to sign up for YouTube and sign up and subscribe to Police Off the Cuff. You know, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a thumbs up. So on this rainy, rainy Tuesday, I want to say thank you so much for joining me for coffee in the morning with Bill, and have a great day and have a safe day. Bye now.